Hello! November is almost over, and so it's time for a Nanowrimo wrap-up. Since I am posting this before the month is actually over, you know that either I finished or I'm so dreadfully behind in my word count I'd never make it. And both of these things have happened in the past, so I'm going to leave you in suspense a little longer. But the real point of this video is to talk about how I outlined my project and whether or not that worked. I also got a new plant. Do you like her? She's a huge palm. And I'm not exactly sure where she's going to live, but for right now, she's going to be right next to me. A little background. I did not begin a new project and complete it, which is sort of the general rule of Nano. I don't do that a lot. So what my plan was for this Nano was to finish one project I was working on that I had about 10-ish thousand, I think a little more than 10,000 words written already, and then begin another project until it got me to 50,000 words. So slightly different, but the goal was still 50,000 words in 1 month. These two projects take place in the same series and overlap slightly on the timeline, which I think makes it slightly easier. But then I was reflecting after writing out what I was going to write in this video that last year I actually I did the same thing. I wrote one project that ended up being shorter than I thought it was going to be, and then I started a second, but they were not in the same series, and I don't think it had affected me negatively, switching like from one series to another in the middle of Nano. So whatever works for you, works for you. On to the outlines, which is probably why you're here. Here are the different outlines that I used this November. First, I used Zoe York's series outline in Romance Your Brand. Here's a copy of the cover of that book because I have it on my Kindle. And that's a very in-depth series outline. So it's not so much like a specific plot beat outline for a specific work, but it's got a lot of great things to keep your brain in your world and get your world built. I'm not going to tell you the outline because honestly, I think you should buy this book and read it if you want it because it was great. One of the best craft books I've ever purchased. But to give you a general gist, it really has you go in depth in like the descriptions of your characters, who your minor characters are, all the settings you're going to come across, so you have those already in your brain before you start working. The second outline I used is Gwen Hayes' outline from Romancing Your Beat. I have that book. I forgot to go grab it. Hold on. It's upstairs and I don't want to go upstairs. So the second outline I used was Gwen Hayes' from Romancing Your Beat. And I'll put a picture of the cover here since I don't have it with me. And this, I think, is a wonderful text for every romance writer to read and utilize, getting your plot beats correct, making sure you don't miss any in the romantic plot arc. It's fantastic. I use this for every novel I write now, and I can't say enough good things about it. You should use it too. And then the last outline I did was a chapter outline. So I actually did take the time to write out what was going to happen in every single chapter. Does that mean I finished? Well, maybe. In 2020, I did that. I wrote out every single chapter, and I have never written that book that I was supposed to write Nano 2020. But honestly, was I insane? Did I actually think I could write 50,000 words in November 2020 when I was homeschooling 3 of my children and my 4th child was going to remote school, sitting right here where I am right now, and the weather was terrible and we were never leaving our house? That was just silly of me to think I could do that. But I will say, while chapter outlines are extremely time consuming, and if you are a pantser, you probably never want to do one, they are also so helpful in when you get stuck at getting you to just get words on the page and keep moving. In the description, I'll put the links for the 2 books I discussed, and I really recommend buying them. Save the Cat Writes a Novel is also a great plot beat book to read if you write outside of the genre of romance, and I'll put that one down there too. So this is how I work. This is not how everyone works. This might totally not work for you, but I will say I have completed Nano 4 times, and I've attempted it 7 times total. So 2 of the times I did not complete it, I did the pants thing. I went in with like a general idea of where I was going in a story. And I was looking through my nanostats yesterday. And one of the years I did that, I got, I think like 19,000 words. And one year I got 33, which really isn't bad considering I was doing the pantsing thing. But then since then I have outlined everything, which telling you that I did complete Nano actually on Wednesday the 23rd. So I wrote 50,000 words in 23 days, which was pretty good. That's about when I like to complete it, like right before Thanksgiving. Works for me and my brain. But yes, very exciting. I was mostly excited because that means that I finished the 3rd book in my Untitled Werewolf series and I began the 4th. And I really want to start releasing that series in 2023, most likely in the summer. And so now I feel a little better that I've got drafts done for the first 3, and hopefully in the next couple of months I'll finish the first draft for the 4th one, and that just makes me feel like I'm more on top of the series because I would like to release this series over the course of probably 2.5 years. It's a very long series, so I want to have quite a few finished before I start releasing the first ones. If you attempted or completed NaNoWriMo in the comments, please let me know. I always think it's like a fun sort of writing community thing to do. 2 of my really good friends and I used to always do Nano together, and I actually never completed it while we were doing it together. We did a few years together, the first 2 that I didn't do. I don't think any of us ever completed when we did it together, but it was really fun to do like writing sprints and stuff like that. We don't do it together anymore. One of them, her November is just way too busy with work. The other had to travel a lot this year for work during November, so we didn't have that sort of like writing meetups, which is very fun. I know some public libraries do meetups. I don't go to them. The majority of the writing I get done is in like spurts during the day or early in the morning before anybody else wakes up, or late at night before everyone else goes to bed, or after everyone else has gone to bed. I am going to start releasing a few more writing videos on this channel, so if you are interested in that, you'll have some coming up in the next few months. And if you did Nano and are feeling super burnt out, I always like to end writing videos by saying happy writing, but maybe not happy writing. Maybe happy resting, maybe happy editing or happy revising, or happy not thinking about writing for a couple months, or happy writing. I'll see you soon.